So now we're at Red Mountain. This is Shaw Red Mountain Vineyard. This is a Merlot block that I get in for the North Star. And we were discussing here how this is, the other vineyards we're looking at. This is a little farther along. So now they've gone in and they've done some thinning, some shoot thinning. You can see how the fruit's more exposed here. We're going to get a little more sunlight on these. And then I was going to show the internode spacing on this. It's usually about, typically like 6 inches or about a fist apart on these. A little heavier fruit in here right now. We'll probably come in and thin later. Do a color thinning, but for right now it's okay. It's still early. Um, but the main thing I wanted to point out is you got a lot more exposure here. You're going to get that dapple sunlight on this, but from the other sites we've been to, it's more exposed. Canopy looks smaller too. It's still plenty of canopy here to ripen the fruit. Cluster's a little smaller. Another special site in the North Star arsenal.
Talk about the dapple sunlight.
Well, dapple sunlight is kind of described that you don't want to have it completely exposed. Just no, you know, no leaves to hanging over this. You're going to get some sunburn and just too much direct light. So they leave a little bit of the leaves. It's partially exposed, but then there's also some shading taking place. I think you can kind of see that through here. It's not totally exposed, um, but it has been thin enough to allow some sunlight in there.
What about the soil here as compared to the other
As
spots?
you can see, the soil here is very fine and probably has a little bit more silt and clay in it. This area is kind of a special thing. You and I were talking earlier about the flooding that took place. This is one of the spots that had there's boulders on Red Mountain here that are the size of Volkswagen Beetle that are from Canada. And they're like, how did they get here? Well, the water came around here again and created eddies and deposited this soil here. A little, like I said, it's a little bit more silt, a little bit finer than what we saw up as say like Beverly. A lot finer. Small amount of silt.
We
Still the
forgot to look at the
same.
soil at Cold
Cold
Creek.
Creek. You might have it on your screen. We didn't pick any up. It's similar.
Mhm.
And that's typical Washington, but
Right.
it's very, very fine.
Mhm. And this entire vineyard is dedicated to North Star, right?
Yeah.
And it's how many acres about? Just like.
It's about 10 acres of Merlot
Mhm.
and about 8 to 10 acres of Cab.
Okay.